All right. Could everyone please settle down in the audience? Can we settle down? We'll all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone out there, for attending. Let it be known that all board members are in attendance, with the exception of Mrs. Debbie Brown, Mr. Richard Antonello, and Mrs. Christina Marks. So, thanks for coming, everyone. Just wanted to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day, and thanks to all the service for everyone out there in our community. I know Bayview had a great parade this morning with the veterans. They always do a great job, so we appreciate that, because without our veterans, we wouldn't be sitting up here today, so we appreciate that. So, announcements, we'll start with our, first of all, just to let everyone know that Dr. Romanelli is not in attendance today. He's at the AMLE event in Indianapolis, honoring Udall and Beach for being honored as the two middle schools in Suffolk County in this national program. So they are out there at a conference, and what a great accomplishment for both of those schools. So with that, we'll start with Mr. Noah Butler and the student rep report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Noah Butler, and I serve as a student representative on the board. I'm glad to be back and share a couple updates from the student perspective as we move into November. First off, athletics and school spirit have been very, very successful. As we wrap up the fall season, our students are beginning preparation for winter sports, which will hold tryouts later this month. The girls soccer team faces Southside in the Long Island Championship this Saturday, and on the same afternoon, the football team faces Hauppauge at home. Additionally, I plan to be in contact with other student leaders throughout the school to find ways to incentivize and increase student attendance at these games. In speaking with the athletes, it's obvious that an increase in attendance will be greatly appreciated and encouraging. Our clubs and activities are running special initiatives this month to send cards to veterans that recently graduated from West Essex High School, which is a great way for us to show our appreciation for those who serve our country and grew up in our community. And then spirits are high in my high school, and as we enter the second quarter, students are excited for the upcoming holiday season. It's also college application season, and many of my peers, including myself, are just wrapping up submitting our applications. And I want to take a moment to thank all parents and community members for supporting our students through this stressful and exciting time, and I ask that you continue to support them, as it can be very stressful, but also exciting. With that being said, I'd like to encourage students in the community to explore local scholarship opportunities, as there's many great organizations in our community that offer scholarships to help lighten the financial burden of college. Overall, it's been really smooth sailing as we enter the second quarter, and we look forward to the rest of November. I'd like to wish everyone in our community a wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of November. And as always, thank you for your time and continued support.
Yeah, Mr. Butler, I was just curious if the athletic director in Hauppauge was able to give us any advanced scouting reports.
Nothing much from him yet. He's a closed book.
I'll tell your dad I said thanks for nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Great report as always, and a lot of exciting things going on, including those two games. We've got the girls soccer in the Long Island Championship, and the football is playoffs at the stadium this Saturday. So with that, discussion and the invitations to the public to speak, we don't have any. So can I have a motion for the approval of the minutes of the October 21st planning meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved. With that, I'll switch to Mr. Cameron for personnel.
Thank you, Mr. McCann. I'd like to request a consent agenda for all items listed in the personnel agenda, items T1 through other up to Udall clubs and advisors.
So moved. Sorry.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved. All right, well, with that, we'll move into our curriculum update. Mrs. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. McCann. The district recently had a successful superintendent's conference day on November 4th. Our K-5 teachers took part in professional development related to the implementation of our new arts and letters literacy program. Our 6 through 12 teachers took part in department work with colleagues to address the curriculum and instruction goals for the school year. We did showcase some great things going on in our district by hosting the Long Island Technology and Engineering Educators Association. The event showcased the district's innovative learning spaces and provided a forum for educators across the county to share best practices. Sharon Quinlan, one of our elementary music and chorus teachers, and Victoria Cabot, our high school band teacher, presented at the Niskane Suffolk Music Educator Symposium Day. K-12 music teachers attended relevant sessions throughout the day, including music for the self-contained classroom and choral reading sessions. We also attended the Long Island Workforce Summit in Comac. Ryan Valmuth, the district's special education transition coordinator, presented on the district's CTE programs, career fairs, and work study opportunities. A reminder to all parents and guardians who have pre-kindergarten teachers eligible for the district's 26-27 pre-kindergarten program that the registration window closes at 11:59 on November 17th. As applications are reviewed by the district registrar and deemed complete, an email will be sent by the district notifying parents and guardians of such. Any parent that submits an application and does not receive a confirmation email from the district by Friday, November 13th, should contact the registrar's office to see why. There are 213 pre-kindergarten spots available for next year's program. If there are students that are registered above the 213 number, a lottery will take place on December 2nd. If a lottery is necessary, specific information in regards to the process will be sent to all parents and guardians in advance. Believe it or not, time is flying, and we are at the end of the first marking quarter at the high school and the middle schools. The marking period ends tomorrow, and report cards will be made available on the Infinite Campus platform for parents to view on November 14th. Thank you, Mr. McCann.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Morrison. So we've got a lighter board attendance today, so you're gonna hear from people twice. First one on the agenda is the audit committee. That was on October 9th. We actually covered that at the last board meeting, so there's no update there other than we received a glowing audit from Colin Danowski. Thanks to Mrs. Pilati and team for having no recommendations made on that, or no findings made. So a tremendous job, shows the great fiscal strength of where we're at. And as she will mention, or we will mention, is our bond rating, because of the great fiscal shape, as Mr. Testo covered, was increased. So we've got a more favorable bond rating, one of the highest in the state. And that's a great testament to Mrs. Pilati and the work, so thanks for that. So we'll go over to buildings and grounds with Mr. Bedell.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds Committee met Monday the 3rd at 6:30. We discussed 5 different things. First off will be the pool renovation project, which has begun. We're in the demolition phase. Found a couple of different things that weren't necessarily planned on, like asbestos remediation and taking care of that, which didn't really delay anything. They're just gonna take care of that, go about our plan. Still good for February 2027 for finishing that project. The other thing we talked about last month, which was brought up again, was the irrigation systems on the fields behind Udall and where the soccer teams play. There's some work that needs to be done to make that system perfect again, I should say. And then the soccer club is actually going to pay to increase the area that the sprinklers cover to give themselves a little bit more of a green space, I guess. Miss Sarah, on the outside of the building, there's going to be a AED that the soccer club is actually going to pay for to be put in and mounted to the building. So there's one there outside, so they don't have to go inside for it. We also talked about rentals and the fees associated with that for the 24-25 season, and what we charge for different spaces, which is pretty interesting. And then the last thing we talked about going into the winter season was our winter gym allocation, which seems to be kind of a tricky subject every year, trying to fit everybody into the limited space, which we're going to prioritize sports that have to be inside first, and then go about sports they couldn't play outside after that. That's about it for buildings and grounds. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bedell. Next up is the Education Committee with Mr. Tessie.
Thank you, Mr. McCann. The Education Committee met Monday, November 3rd. Present was Superintendent Dr. Romanelli, Assistant Superintendent Mrs. Morrison, and Assistant Superintendent Mr. Cameron. All Board of Ed members were present. The meeting began approximately at 6:56 p.m. The June 2025 assessment results were reviewed in detail. Given the extensive amount of data that was presented, I will try to provide a concise summary highlighting the key points. It is important to note that many of our students are enrolled both in IB and AP courses, reflecting their strong commitment to academic excellence and their determination to pursue the most rigorous levels of study. The data that was discussed is utilized in a comprehensive review process during which directors meet with departments and individual teachers to discuss reflection, progress, and areas for continued growth. It's also important to note that West Islip maintains an open enrollment policy which allows all students the opportunity to participate in these rigorous high-level courses, unlike other districts where they do impose enrollment restrictions. While many of our IB scores were or at slightly below global standards, several exceeded those benchmarks. It's also important to recognize that in some subject areas, only 2 West Islip students completed an IB exam, making direct comparisons to global averages less representative of our overall program performance. As far as our AP scores, as a whole, West Islip scored at or above for both New York and global scoring. It should be noted that many of our students, again, are enrolled in both of these courses, which is something I think all parents and school district personnel should be proud of. Staff subcommittees are currently examining the potential reintroduction of middle school midterm and final examinations, as well as exploring opportunities to expand the number of alternating day courses at the high school level, which could reduce the frequency of study hall periods. On Superintendent's Conference Day, staff engaged in professional development workshops, curriculum planning, and collaborative training sessions designed to enhance instruction, support student learning, and strengthen school programs. Our K-5 learning community has engaged in implementation of arts and letters. And then, as Mrs. Morrison did talk about earlier, there is an update on the next year's pre-K registration. Following last year's lottery process, the district will transition to a computerized registration system for the upcoming school year. Currently, there's 199 interested families with 59 completed applications. As noted before, registration closes November 17th at 11:59 p.m. And the lottery, if needed, will be conducted. The meeting commenced at 7:51 p.m.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tessie. Next up, we've got Mr. Tessie of the Finance Committee.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. McCann. The Finance Committee met Monday, November 3rd at 6:47 p.m. Administrators present included Dr. Romanelli, Assistant Superintendent Mrs. Morrison, and Mr. Cameron. Again, all board members were in attendance. I'd like to begin by extending sincere appreciation to our Assistant Superintendent, Elisa Pilati, and her team for their outstanding work, which has resulted in the district's Moody Bonds rating increasing from AA2 to AA1. This is a remarkable achievement, as only 12 of 646 school districts in New York State hold this distinguished rating. For context, Moody ratings assess an organization's creditworthiness ranging from the highest quality, AAA, to the lowest, C. This improved rating enhances the district's financial position by lowering borrowing costs, ultimately generating long-term savings for taxpayers. During the committee meeting, the treasurer's report was reviewed, including the September school district and extracurricular fund balances. The September payroll summary and financial statements were also discussed. And in addition, the committee examined the October internal claims audit report, the system manager audit trail, and conducted a review of warrants. This evening, the Board of Education will consider approval for several budget transfers involving the general fund, school lunch fund, and capital fund. The board will also act on surplus memos from the IT department for miscellaneous items such as Chromebooks, keyboards, and monitors. And finally, the board will vote on 2 resolutions. The first, reorganizing distraction-free school state aid from New York State Ed Department, recorded under the other state aid in the amount of $19,282. And the second, approving the equivalent increase to the 2025-26 general fund budget in the same amount. The meeting commenced at 6:55 p.m.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tessie. We'll move on to the Health and Wellness Alliance with Mrs. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. McCann. The Health and Wellness Alliance met on Monday, November 3rd at Paul J. Blue. Members present were Tim Horan, Deb Brown, Maureen Hansner, Megan Tassar, Sharon Kerrigan, Rhonda Pratt, Christina O'Neill, Christina Elefante, Pete McCann, Nicole Peppers, Rebecca Bassini, Dr. Romanelli, Rhonda Netterman, Stephanie Galamis, Jamie Connors, Brittany Probst, Melanie Steinweiss, Gail Darty, Lindsay Ednick, Ryan Olson. We went over the financial report. We had the Glow Run last night, which was a really huge success. There were 390 free registrations, but we definitely exceeded that last night with the walk-ups. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors and all of the parent and student volunteers who helped out at the event. There was a lot of people there, and they really did a wonderful job. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed. And we also received a certificate of registration for the event from Town Supervisor Angie Carpenter, which was really great. The gingerbread house decorating event will be held on Thursday, December 11th at 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. at the high school cafeteria. The Health and Wellness Alliance will purchase gingerbread houses this year. $15 per family. There'll be pizza, refreshments, and of course gingerbread houses. And online registration through My School Box will be open soon, and a flyer will be sent to Parent Square, sent out via Parent Square. And we are also giving out 2 $500 scholarships to graduating seniors. And the Gingerbread Subcommittee will meet on Tuesday, December 2nd at 9:30 to discuss the event that's coming. The next meeting will be Tuesday, January 6th at 9:30 a.m. at the cafeteria at Paul J. Blue.
Thank you, Mrs. Kelly. I can't emphasize enough the Glow Run, over 500 participants, and the gingerbread baking house, we sold out the last 2 years, and we had a lot more gingerbread, so sign up early. That's great, both great events. So we'll move on to the safety committee. Back to Mr. Quinn. Mr. Quinn Bedell.
Thank you, Pete. Safety committee also met on Monday. We talked about a few different things. First off, we talked about Levittown School District came in and met with West Islip in regards to armed guards and how we implemented that here, and they're I guess trying to use us as a model for how they want to roll that out, which is pretty cool. We also talked about Suffolk County Police Department and how we're talking with them about our new keyless lock systems at the high school and training through that and making sure that we're all on the same page. The state came out with a cardiac arrest plan that has to be implemented by 2026, I guess January 2026. West Islip already has a plan in place, so we're just gonna roll that over. We were talking about how we can maximize our, I should say, bang for your buck with the cameras and security systems we have, seeing if there's any room to use things that we're not utilizing to the fullest extent. There was also talks about doors, going through all the doors in all the buildings, making sure that they'll lock and close and function properly. Also looking at the way that the doors open, how they're held open, seeing if we could do something with magnets to keep the doors open and they close automatically. And then there was also talks, the West Islip Fire Department has some different materials that we might be able to use for some school safety initiatives that's down the pike. So that's about it for safety.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bedell. And we are back to Mrs. Kelly, the Special Education Committee.
Thank you again. The Special Education Committee met on November 5th at District Office. The following committee members were present: Ms. Morrison, Ms. Brown, Ms. Marks, Ms. Dowling, Ms. Darty, and Ms. Zednick. The meeting began at 9 a.m. and adjourned approximately 9:40. The committee discussed IEPs from CSE and CPSE and recommendations for the respective committees. Mrs. Dowling reported the continued successful partnership with PM Pediatrics and Effective School Solutions, which continue to support students and connect families to care for social and emotional support. Mara D'Amico, SEPTA president, joined us for the non-confidential portion of the meeting. She reported that SEPTA's silent dance would be postponed. A date will be forthcoming. SEPTA is planning a complimentary holiday photo shoot at the West Islip Library. It will be on November 23rd from 1:20 to 4:30. More information will be available as soon for sign up. If you have any holiday prompts, props that we could use as backgrounds for the photo shoot, please let us know. SEPTA is currently looking for parents to volunteer to chair events. Please contact SEPTA for more information. This next SEPTA meeting will be November 13th at Beach Street at 7:30 p.m. A virtual link is available for those who cannot attend in person. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kelly. And next up, the highly anticipated, much talked about Policy Committee with Mr. Cameron.
Thank you for that introduction, Mr. McCann. The Policy Committee met on Tuesday, October 21st, ahead of our planning session in the Beach Street Middle School Library Media Center, where all board members were present with the exception of Mr. Anthony Tussey. Also in attendance were Dr. Paul Romanelli, Mrs. Dawn Morrison, Mrs. Palladio, and myself. The meeting began promptly at 7 p.m. We opened with a discussion of a revised policy that's known in our local manual as the DASSA policy, but formerly known as Policy 7317, Student Harassment and Bullying Prevention and Intervention. In addition to that, we had Policy 7317R, which is Student Harassment and Bullying Prevention and Intervention Regulation, and Policy 7317E, Student Harassment and Bullying Prevention and Intervention Exhibit. Following the discussion of those policies in the current policy manual, we transitioned to the 4000 series of the new Board of Ed policy manual that we are working on that is aligned with the NYSBA recommended policy manual. The 4000 series included policies surrounding instructional practices and environment to include, going to the other page, student learning standards and instructional guidelines, equivalence in instructional staff and materials, curriculum management, display of the flag, age instruction, programs for students with disabilities, academic intervention services, English language learners, grading system, class ranking, and a variety of others. We will be offering a second reading at our next planning session of 7317, 7317R, and 7317E. And our next policy meeting will be on November 18th at 7 p.m. and the meeting concluded at 7:14 p.m.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cameron. Next up, Mrs. Polani with business items.
Thank you, Mr. McCann. May I have a motion for the approval of budget transfers in the general and school lunch fund and the capital fund as listed on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion approved.
May I have a motion for the approval of the resolutions as listed on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved.
May I have a motion for the approval of the surplus miscellaneous IT equipment?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you.
Mrs. Polani. All right, the President's report. Can I have a motion for the approval of the stipulation of settlement release between West Islip and Student A?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved. Can I have the approval of contract for the Deer Park Union Free School District for the revised use pool agreement?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? So just so everyone knows that being that our pool was shut down for renovation, we will be swimming at the Deer Park pool, sharing that pool with the Lindenhurst team. So, all in favor? All opposed? Motion approved. Can I have the motion for the approval of the resolution for the Board of Education to approve the recommendations of the Special Ed Committee?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved. All right, and one last thing on this is our new segment with the Board of Ed. I know we've got a big crowd out there, but I just want to mention some things that we heard. It's called Heard Around Town. So the Heard Around Town is a compilation of discussions, emails, and stop and shop discussions that we have with parents around the community, which bring up topics, and then we love to just share some of that feedback. So, yeah, overpriced groceries. We hear from a lot of parents, and I think some of that information is really good to get back. So we have this segment to kind of cover some of those things. One of the ones that came up within the month was had a parent come up to us, and we talked about the challenges that their son had gone through last year with mental health. And they really have good compliments of the district in terms of the counseling department. So appreciate the administration and the investments that we made in mental health counseling. And then they went one step further, was that they'd love to have a parent group or an avenue where they can go communicate that out to other parents who are maybe suffering or confused or, traumatized by something that their child is. So one of the things that we do have, spearheaded by the administration and Health and Wellness and Ms. Grace Kelly, was we have a subcommittee for the Health and Wellness Committee for the Mental Health Committee. So I would recommend that if people wanted to get involved with that, good place to share stories and make sure that everyone who's going through that can kind of get together as kind of a support group. So that was one item. The second was another great item for a parent support group. SEPTA started a parent support group 2 weeks ago, and they had great attendance. And that's really another, it's free for parents of children who are of special needs or classified. And they had over 30 parents attend, and they really just discussed what they've gone through with their children, what avenues are around. And it's a really great support group, and we're happy to see that. They will be having another one coming up at the end of November. So, another great item that, is around, and the word should get out there, because that could be a really confusing, challenging, tough time for parents when you're going through a child has any kind of challenges, and it's a great forum to do that, so we appreciate that. One of the last topics was, why is there a giant rat in front of the school? We heard that from a couple of people. So just to clarify, that is kind of a protest or a demonstration of our use of a non-union group that's partly doing our pool. Just to clarify that we follow all of the New York State regulations and laws, including prevailing wages. So we are certainly a pro-union school here. Another comment that came out of that was, why are we listed as a union-free school district and we don't support unions? That actually is not the definition of what the union-free school district is. That designation as union-free school district dates back 150 years, when the New York State Constitution declared that every child in New York State would deserve a free education. And this, where West Islip is just literally a union, a collection of free schools. So that's what that means. We're not anti-union in any portion. Most of our employees are part of unions. People up here are part of unions, family members. So that is not the case at all. We are very union friendly and support every hardworking American out there. So those are some of the things heard around town in the last couple of weeks. So feel free to keep sending those comments in. With that, we have the superintendent is out in Indianapolis, so there's no superintendent report. Just lost my second page. Okay, and all right. We don't have any notices or reminders. And now invitation for the public to speak. Any items? No cards. All right. Well, then can I have a motion to adjourn to executive section where we'll discuss personnel, legal matters, and negotiations?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Thank you everyone for joining, and happy Veterans Day again, and have a great Thanksgiving week.